Here we are, Delaware Ave. And today, oh, it's already moving. It's not supposed to start moving till 1. It's a little bit before noon. And all the way back there are the stacks of the SS United States. For the longest time, it sat there at that dock. Wow, it's crazy to see that space open.
The world's fastest ocean liner. Progress? The SS United States. A skyscraper afloat.
I think I know a better spot. We're going to go in IKEA, but I just wanted to document this because it's more than the boat. There's so many people who are intrigued by this boat that they're come here. It's 22 degrees and people are standing outside to look at a boat. I would say a lot of these people never were even on it. See all the people here. That's a good idea, standing on your car. Standing here. And then you got a ton of people across the street. Inside the IKEA, people are saying goodbye to the boat. A lot of people in South Philadelphia actually call this boat the IKEA ship. It's not the IKEA ship, it's the SS United States, the largest ocean liner constructed in the United States, the fastest ocean liner to cross the Atlantic, making her maiden voyage in 1950. To come to IKEA, they would always have these stickers to tell you about the boat. It's really it's odd seeing the smokestacks in a different spot than where they usually are. Look at all the people inside the IKEA restaurant. Here we are, back on Delaware Ave. You got news helicopters flying over. So since the 90s, the boat was docked right here. And then there was a dispute about the rent. There was like a conservative, there was a group of people who were trying to preserve the boat. The people who owned that dock upped the rent. And there was one person who was putting in a lot of money to save the ship, and that person passed away. And when they upped the rent, they never paid the new rent price. The people who were in charge of saving the ship, they only paid the old rent rate. So this thing was like in legal issues for a few years, and it's off now to Alabama, and they're going to do a little bit of cleaning to it, and then they're going to send it to Florida, where it's going to be sunk and be the world's largest artificial reef. Also, that town in Florida will have a museum to the United States. There have been several delays of moving the ship. The last few delays were because of wind. Now, the reason why they're being so cautious is the United States is going to have to go under that bridge, the Walt Whitman Bridge. It is really interesting to see it moving down the river after seeing it be parked for so many decades.
Dock workers said they're glad to see her go. A ship like that should never be idle. But the SS United States, built at a cost of $80 million, has been idle for more than a decade. It was put out of service in 1969, and it's remained secured and sealed since then. Her last captain remembers when they brought her in for good.
When we first laid the ship up, naturally we were all very sad about it because it spent 14 years in the ship. And to think that that was it was the end of an era. That's the way we felt about it. And today, maybe it's the beginning of a new era. Let's hope so. And when the ship is finally finished up and converted into a cruise ship, it's going to be a very proud moment in my life.
With meticulous care, the great passenger liner was eased out of her berth on the first leg of her first cruise in 11 years. Her new owners have luxury service between the West Coast and Hawaii in mind. But the Grand Dam of the Seas needs some work, nearly $40 million worth.
The United States is coming down the Delaware River. I'm at the Navy Yard, the Philadelphia Navy Yard. And this is going to be the best view. It's also going to be my last view of the United States above water. Who knows, maybe I will dive one day, take a picture. It's a shame you could never get to it when it was above ground in Philadelphia. They did tours periodically, but not too often.
New York gives the new $70 million superliner, the United States, the biggest welcome any ship has ever received there. Dwarfing the 150 small craft escort, she enters her home port for acceptance. Manned by a crew of 1,000, she will carry 2,000 passengers in air-conditioned comfort. Officers say her top speed is a secret, but on her first Atlantic crossing, she may try to break the Queen Mary's 14-year-old record. Converted as a military transport for 10,000 troops, she could carry them to almost any war front without refueling. America claims she's the finest and fastest ship afloat.
A new queen has been crowned. She is the liner United States, which holds a double Atlantic blue ribbon for speed. The $73 million luxury speedster makes the east-west crossing in 3 days and 12 hours from England to Ambrose Lightship, cutting 9 hours from the record held by the Queen Mary for 13 years. A royal welcome awaits the new monarch in New York Harbor as she steams to her berth. Sleek, streamlined, and trim, she completes the 2,900-mile run with an average of almost 40 land miles an hour, with a hint from her officers that she had plenty in reserve. President Franklin of the United States Lines and Grover Whalen congratulate Commodore Harry Manning, the skipper, on bringing back to America the Atlantic laurels for the first time in 100 years. A clean sweep for America's new Queen of the Seas.
America's newest and biggest liner, the United States, leaves Newport News, Virginia, for a trial run in the Atlantic. The designers expect the $70 million superliner will sail faster than any commercial vessel ever built. The United States, now under her own power for the first time, is to undergo 2 days of tests. She won't enter the Atlantic run until July. 990 feet from stem to stern, she weighs in at 52,000 tons, 30,000 less than the Queen Elizabeth. But after a run in which she is claimed to have exceeded 32 knots, America's new ocean Greyhound had to return with overheated bearings.
This is it. This is going to be my last shot waves caused by the tugboats and the United States. The last time it will make the Delaware River choppy. I don't know. I'm trying to be sentimental. It's cold.
With the signal of departure comes a sudden change of mood. The vessel is not moved, but the passenger already is part of a new world, as if he were miles away from the old. When the last gangway is swung away from the ship and the last line is cast off, the United States becomes an island unto herself. The world's fastest ship starting on her 4.5-day voyage to Europe. It's as though some great New York hotel had broken away from Manhattan and is moving out to sea. If you've ever seen friends off on an ocean voyage, you'll know the excitement and nostalgia of such a party as, amid cold farewells, the great ship heads for the gates of the harbor. Its departure marks an end and a beginning for everyone aboard. Each cherishes private memories and holds special anticipations for the holiday ahead. 5 hours later, the United States sets sail for Southampton and Bremerhaven. Anyone who's ever been aboard realizes that it's impossible to describe the experience. The only way to know what it's like is to travel on the American champion of the ocean.
The smokestacks going away. Its final voyage. I could see those smokestacks from section 301. Sometimes when the game gets boring, I look into the city. I always look for the smokestacks of the SS United States, and then I look at the buildings in Center City. It's part of the skyline to me, and the skyline's always changing in Philadelphia. This one's sad because if you look around, there was nothing but people here. I'm taking a second because this is the last time I'm ever going to see this smokestack. And there it goes, out of view. The SS United States. Yeah, there were hundreds of people lining all up and down here. There was maybe a few hundred people, maybe 100 people in Delaware Ave. To me, like there was a little interest in that boat. Maybe they could have made it a museum. But you gotta make a profit these days. And if you can't make a profit, we'll just sink you. And then we'll make a profit off you when you become a reef. It's kind of sad. I know, it is sad. It is sad. You know, Philadelphia never does anything. Well, it does a little bit to preserve the history of the city. But, you know, Ben Franklin's daughter tore down Ben Franklin's house in like the early 1800s. We had this boat, we had that ship here since the 90s. And nobody ever did anything with it. And we just lost a piece of our history. Well, I guess not, because it's a reef, so. All right, well, I'm not scuba diving, I forgot. I know somebody who died of the bends. You Google it, you'll see what that is. Yeah, I don't snorkel, so I'll never see that boat again. Not with my own eyes.